Hey guys, men's dating coach HarryWilmington here, founder of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the consequences of over-pursuing. Now, I got a message here that I read on Reddit, and it's a guy that was having a good thing going with a woman for a little while. They were going out, having a good time, they hooked up, and then after a few too many texts, she suddenly started to show less interest. At some point again, she started showing interest again, but then it started to wane out again, and this guy wants to know what he did wrong, and I'm going to point it out so you all do not make the same mistake. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/HarryWilmington to be notified of when I post up new videos. So today we're talking about over-pursuing. I mentioned this a little bit in the last video I did yesterday because we're doing 5 shows this week, guys, 5 shows, all right? So check out that previous show. But for this particular show, I talked a little bit about the problems that you could have when you over-pursue. And so I really want to get more into that in this show because I read this fascinating message on Reddit from this guy who seemed to have a good thing going with a woman until he started texting her a little too much and then she went away. And by the way, guys, this week is the week before Valentine's Day. So to that end, I got a bunch of great freebies at the website to check out to help better your dating life. I got some eBooks. And also, I have my new free 5-day email course called Modify Your Mindset. If you are a guy that's been saying women are just terrible, they don't like me, I'm not attractive, they're all crazy and just want bad boys or whatever, then what that simply means is that you are not currently in the right frame of mind to really have an effective dating life. And I want to get rid of some of those thoughts for you and also have you create new thoughts and about women and also about dating that are going to help you to be in a better frame of mind to get the right results. So it's a very simple course. You just go there, fill out your name and email, and you will get the very first lesson in the course sent to you today. And then for the next 4 days, you'll get 4 more messages with mind-boggling audios that are all about the ins and outs of how you can change your mindset. We give you some key insights on how to get rid of anxiousness and how to be able to approach women with less anxiety and what women are really thinking about when you approach them. Go to IntrovertDatingSuccess.com/modify your mindset. Sign up today. So let's go ahead and get to this guy's message. I met this girl about a month ago and we immediately connected. After we met, we went out on 2 dates and a party in which afterwards we hooked up. So I don't know how long he did that for. I don't know if it was like he separated out the dates, if it was like every other week or so. I'm not a big fan of doing party dates with women early on because I really believe that you're going to be most effective attracting women when it's just you and that other person one-on-one. Anything outside of you two can be a distraction and a detour for her to fall for somebody else. And I know you're thinking, well, that's better to do because if she didn't like me, she was going to leave me anyway. It's better to find out early. Guy, as I say all the time, woman needs 3 months to solidify her feelings for you. At the 3-month mark, when you guys become boyfriend and girlfriend and she's solidified her feelings, then you can take her around people and it's going to be less likely she's going to want to leave you for somebody else. But early on, don't do it. Continuing on though, he says, for about a week since we texted each other nonstop all day and both enjoyed the conversation. We both said at some point we weren't ready for a relationship and that friends would be just fine for now. All right, this guy just contradicted himself. Let me show you how. So first he says, we texted each other nonstop and both enjoyed the conversation, right? So he's saying, when I was texting her, she was responding back. Therefore, he's assuming because that was happening that she was desiring of all that conversation. But then he says, we both said at some point we weren't ready for a relationship and just want a friendship. That is a lie because this guy, if he's going after her, most likely it means he wants to be in an actual relationship, or even if it's not a relationship, he might want a friends with benefit situation because he already hooked up with her, but he's wanting some kind of tension to be there and some kind of established thing that's going to be beyond a friendship. And the fact that he's saying we agreed to that, what that probably means is he was texting too much. She came up with the idea of, hey, so I'm not trying to do anything too serious. We need to pull back a bit and maybe we should just be friends. And this is what happens to a lot of guys that do things early on, like texting her nonstop every single day. So you can see it's already coming to fruition just by him over texting too much. It sends a signal to women that says, A, I have no other prospects. B, I have nothing else going on. And C, you are my full world right now, and I need you to be that. And that's a lot of pressure to apply to a woman that you've only gone on 2 dates and a party date with and hooked up with one time. This is why, like I talked about in yesterday's episode, you need to be patient with women early on because they're still trying to flow through their feelings and figure out where you fit with them and if they want a relationship, if they don't. And the easiest way to get into a relationship is not to pressure it. Because if you're not pressuring that it has to be something, that gives her time to convince herself that that's what she wants because it's of her free will and of her free choice. All right? Continuing on. So after they both said that they weren't ready for a relationship, he says, then all of a sudden, she disappeared. About 2 days later, I texted asking if everything was okay. She answered and said she was overwhelmed with work, school life, and she did not want to have her emotions control anything with me because she wasn't ready for more. What is the actual translation here? So when she says she was overwhelmed, the excuse she gave him was she's overwhelmed with schoolwork and regular work and life. But what that translates to, the part that she didn't say is, and I'm overwhelmed by how much you're reaching out to me and how many feelings you're putting on me and all these serious conversations we're having when this is supposed to just be for fun. All right? And women will never say that part because to them in their head, it sounds stupid. Like, this guy's treating me great. Why would I say to him that he's too much because he's actually the best thing happening? But subconsciously, it feels like too much. It feels like he's already trying to make her commit to something. And just the fact that he's texting her every day, it now feels like an obligation on her end to have to respond, to have to text him every day, which now makes it not her choice. And once a woman starts feeling like that being around you and responding to you and going on dates with you is not a choice but an obligation, that's when they start to pull back. And you don't want to make a woman feel overwhelmed because when she starts to feel that, she's going to pull back and lessen her attraction to you. And that's not something you want. Continuing. So the excuse about work and life and yada, yada, yada. She said she still wants to be friends and talk and keep what we have. I reassured her I wasn't ready to make it a relationship and we can stay as friends, and she agreed. Now, this is another mistake that guys make, so I want to point this out. A woman might say to you, hey, just so you know, I'm not trying to be in a relationship. I want it to be just friends, blah, blah, blah. And so in your rational head, you think to yourself, well, if I just say the same thing to her, then she'll feel less uneasiness about our situation. So what do you say? Oh, yeah, I don't want a relationship also, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Women are very instinctual, and they can typically tell if a guy is either lying or not or just saying something to please her, okay? So when something like this comes up, when a woman says to you, hey, so just so you know, even though we've been on a few dates and hooked up, whatever, just so you know, I'm not looking for a relationship. Your only response should be, okay, cool. Like, you don't need to be the wordy one that's going to over-explain that you feel the same way, this and that. The less you say in your response to what she's saying about you guys not being in a relationship, it's going to put her actually at more ease. Versus if you're trying to overcomplicate this by over-explaining things, she's going to think that you're saying this because you're really just trying to like keep her in your circle, but you really do kind of want to get with her and you're going to get at her at some point, whatever. And here's the thing. When you give a non-committal answer, you don't have to go back later and say and have her say to you, well, but you said you were also looking for a friendship too, this is that. You can say, all I said was, okay, cool. Like, if we're going towards a relationship, whatever. If we're not, whatever. I just enjoy your company. However we get to do that, that's fine. Whether it's hooking up or not, it's whatever. Now, obviously, you want to do more than hook up. But like I said, the answer you're trying to give is one that basically says to her, I'm indifferent to whatever this outcome is. If you want to date me, fine. If you don't want to date me, I'll find somebody else. It's fine. The more you seem like you actually care about whatever this investment in your guys' friendship or relationship is, you're going to lose out. All right? Continuing on. Let's see. So after the friends thing, and we assured her, he says, but ever since then, our texting has been different. I've offered a few times to take her out, in which she said she was busy. So now what does it say to her? He said he just wants a friendship, but now he's trying to still ask her out. And women know you're not trying to ask them out and spend money on them just as a friendly gesture. If you're trying to take a woman out to spend money on her, she knows it's because you're trying to do some things, whether it's be in a relationship, whether it's get physical with her. So he's already going back on what he said. In her eyes, I know he probably means what he's saying, but she's thinking that's not what it means at all. And so that's why she's trying to back away, because he's saying he wants a friendship, but still trying to ask her out. That feels weird to her if she's not currently in that headspace. Continuing, he says, also, we'd have a convo and she'd just disappear. I'm now the one to initiate the conversation, but whenever I text, she answers pretty quickly. When we do talk, it seems like she cares and we still have fun convos, but she just doesn't answer like she used to. okay? And here's the interesting thing, is that notice he's the only one reaching out now. So now, because he's the only one reaching out, she's, again, feeling obligated to respond because it'd be a mean thing to not respond. I don't want to be that girl, so I'm going to respond back to whatever. But she's not initiating any conversations. What does this say about her actual interest level in this guy? That if either it's not there or he's doing so much that it's now pushing against any kind of feeling that she would have possibly had for him, all right? Continuing, he says, he asked the question, should I tell her point blank, hey, I know you're stressed with life, but I want to be friends and stick to that for now, but I feel like I'm bothering you and you don't want to text me. Do you want me to leave you alone? I'm not sure how to proceed. What do I say? And so here's the thing, guy. You cannot rational your way into making a woman change her mind. Like if she's not texting you back in the same way or not responding to you as frequently or saying no to dates because she's suddenly busy or whatever, you can't have a rational conversation with her that says, hey, so I know she's been backing away, so just tell me now if you don't want to be my friend, blah, 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 blah. A woman's never going to want to either have that conversation with you or is not going to be honest in that conversation with you because most women view themselves as good people that don't want to hurt your feelings. So verbally saying, I think you're creeping me out now and I don't want to see you, most women aren't going to have that conversation with you. They would rather back away and hope that you get the hint that that's what they want, than have to verbally express that because, again, it goes against their image of themselves as, I'm a good person, I would never hurt this person. Now, there was an interesting little update to this story, which is, as I was reading through the comments of, people can give comments and give advice to this guy or whatever, he did mention some extras that I thought were interesting, okay? So he says, a few dates we hooked up, a lot of convo. I somewhat asked her, and she said she enjoys talking to me, but she's just busy with life stuff and trying to prioritize things, which, again, I have dated women that have been in some extreme situations. I dated a woman once that was in law school and studying for the bar exam. I was in the process of dating a woman when her mom died. And with these extreme situations that these women were going through, they still made time to spend with me because when women want you, they will not let anything stand in the way of being around you or showing that they want your presence. When they're not so sure, suddenly those things are the biggest thing in the world and they get too busy to see you, okay? But anyway, so he says that, and then he says, the other night, she called and FaceTimed me out of nowhere. I was at a party, and she saw that and told me to send her my location, and she actually came by for a little bit. We talked, and we were together when she was here, and she was nice and receptive. So what happened? This guy actually let the conversation go for a couple of days, and she reached out to him. Why did she do that? Well, very simple. Because he wasn't pressuring her to have a conversation and to be anywhere with him, now it became her choice to reach out to him and to want to spend time with him. Interestingly enough, though, this happened when he was at a party. So you got to think and imagine, if she's seeing this guy at a party having a good time, what is she also thinking? Who's at this party? Is it just other guys? Or are there other women at this party? Could it be a situation where other women that are at this party could get his attention? Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily what her thought process is, but it's very true that women like the idea that other women will possibly want you because it shows and gives social proof that you are a worthy enough guy to want to catch. And notice that she immediately went over to the party. So by him being patient and leaning back a bit, he was able to actually get her to want to spend time with him because it was her decision. But then look what happens. Says the next day we talked again, which means he probably reached out to her, and I threw her an invite to watch the Super Bowl, but she said the weather was bad and she didn't want to drive. So I'm not sure if she's going to go back to her conversation and then disappear again, or is she going to talk and want to hang out again? I feel like I got false hope. Interesting, right? So she came over the day before of her own accord when she said, I'm going to come out and see you and hang out. And then the very next day, where I imagine the weather didn't change all that much, but the very next day, she's like, oh, bad weather. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, my God. What was the difference? One was he waited for a little bit, and she hadn't seen him, hadn't heard from him, so she made the moves to go talk to him. And then immediately the next day, hey, blah, 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 what's going on? We should hang out together and have a party together, my own intimate place. We should be doing things, yada, yada, yada. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't go. Why? Because we went back to over pursuing. Understand, guy, the way that attraction works is like a mirror. So you have to mirror her moves. So if she's the one reaching out to you and you've accepted, the worst thing you could do is rush back in. You had to wait 2 days for her to be able to decide, hey, you know what? I want to see this guy. I want to talk to him. I want to see what he's up to. And you ruin that by trying to hit her again the very next day, okay? So when women are showing you signs that their attraction is starting to lessen, the worst thing you could do is try to rush in and show why she needs to be around you. No, you sit back. In this situation, what I would have done was she came over for the party the day before, had a good time with me, whatever, we had a good time, we got to talk for a little bit. I would have left her alone for 4 or 5 days. I would have given it time to see, if I just leave her alone again, will she reach out again? Because attraction is very easy, guys. Either they want to see you or they don't. But you want to find women out there that are going to be excited about seeing you and excited about making plans with you and excited about wanting to be in your presence. If you're getting these kind of mundane responses like, oh, I guess I'll see you, or oh, you know, I want you, but oh my God, I can't see you. What does that really tell you about this woman's attraction level? Okay? And this is where a lot of guys trip up. And this, by the way, is an example of this guy is not in the right headspace of dating, because he's thinking that if I just do certain things, and if I say certain things, and if I call her all the time, and I'm inviting her out, and we're having a good time together, then she should want me. And I actually talk about this in lesson 4 of my Modify Your Mindset series, about this whole thing of what you feel a woman should be doing versus what actually works. And that's why it behooves you to opt in to that free mini course, because you're going to really learn a lot about the ways in which dating actually works, the mindset that you need to have, and you're going to be able to change some of your thoughts about how you think dating should be working, how it actually works, and get some tips along the way about what's going to be most effective in you being able to attract women, okay? So definitely check that out. But to this guy, I had to tell him, like, look, guy, at the end of the day, you're doing too much too soon. You're doing all the chasing, and you need to have the opposite. You need to have her reaching out to you. You need to have her saying, hey, let's set up a time to hang out and do this particular thing, all right? And it's important because, yes, you want to be the one pursuing a woman. That is without doubt. You want to be the one to show her that you're putting effort forth to impress her. But at some point, you have to look for her to be doing the same to you. Because if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. So hopefully, guy, this helps you out. Thank you for watching this episode of the Introvert Dating Success Show. If you found the info in this episode to be helpful, please show your support by clicking on the tip jar tab, the link of which can be found at the website and in the description below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video, and catch new episodes every Monday and Thursday right here on YouTube or wherever podcasts can be found. In the meantime, check out more episodes so you too can date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.